Hi guys, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you all. My name is Kathryn Kauffman and I'm a psychic medium here at Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we try to discover what and who we are in this journey called life.
So thank you all for being here as well. My name is Rachel Harrison. I'm an adult programming coordinator. Kathryn Kauffman. Miss Kathryn Kauffman, all the way from Lexington, joining us here tonight.
Special shout out to my Monday night friend, Miss Joy Hall, over here on Instagram. For those of you that are joining on Facebook, I did leave a link on the professional page. If you happen to tune in there to Kathryn Kauffman Psychic Medium page, there will be a link to the private page there, Kathryn Kauffman. And so if you want to join in on the live chat, the personal page is the only page that I engage with the chat. Let me check all of these streams and make sure that they are going okay. As you join, I ask that you let me know if the video and the audio are working. Hey, lady. Nice to see you, Melissa Begley. Big kiss to you and Miss Cleo. Good to see you here tonight. Let me just put a comment here to check the video and audio. Hear and see me okay. All right. We'll see how this stream is working. So some housekeeping stuff before we get started with our topic for the evening. And if you enjoy these Monday night live chats that we have, go ahead and hit the share button on your screen and share this out in your newsfeed. That really helps the show quite a bit. You can also wait till after the show and share it if you want, but giving it a like and giving things a share really helps the people that are producing shows for you guys. Okay, so video and audio looks good. Thank you, Sharon. Good to see you here tonight. And special shout out to Ina. Nice to see you on here. So some updated stuff. For those of you that follow the Haunted Items Hunt, and this is on Facebook the second Sunday of every month, except for when we were really locked down with COVID and we couldn't go anywhere. We didn't have the Haunted Items Hunt then because, David and I couldn't get out and evaluate stuff. But what we're going to do for the rest of the year is we're going to do some filming of me and him actually going around and finding objects. And so that's only going to be presented on the YouTube channel. Now, the second Sunday of every month, we're still going to have the pictures. And so what I usually do is I'll post 4 pictures. 2 of the item pictures are what we call haunted items, and 2 of the other pictures are what we call decoy pictures. And so it really helps you practice your own psychic abilities to guess which ones are haunted and which ones are not. And so those posts are still going to happen the second Sunday of every month on Facebook and Instagram. And I will leave links to the Instagram page in the comments after the show. But the videos of actually us going out and looking for stuff is going to be on my YouTube channel. So I'll leave a link to the YouTube channel in the comments. So I'd love for you to go and subscribe and give a few of the videos a like. and maybe watch some of the past shows from Monday Night Live on my YouTube channel. Okay, let me check for questions. Hey to Charlotte Northcutt and Patricia Phillips. Special shout out and big kiss to my friend Richie Gambrell. And a big shout out to Annette Southard and Christina. And big shout out and lots of hug and loves to my son Michael Lawrence, who's on Instagram. So that's one thing that we're working on. Another thing I wanted to share with you is after much deliberation, it's hard to say that word, I have decided not to do any more one-on-one teaching sessions. Sometime this fall, maybe even this winter, I will be loading all of my teaching up on maybe Skillshare. And so there won't be any more personal instruction available. It's all going to be on Skillshare. So look forward to that. And also, there's one thing that will still be in person. I still am waiting to do the tree portal seminar, the tree walk. That's definitely going to be in person. And I was thinking hopefully it would be okay to get together as a small group and do that seminar this fall. Maybe when the trees start to turn and it gets just a little bit cooler. So, for those of you that may be interested in the tree portal walk, please message me because I need to get an idea of what size small group that we maybe can do this in. So, so Joy's having trouble with Instagram. Oh my goodness. I don't know. So does the feed look okay, Joy, on the Facebook page is my question. Also for the rest of you guys on Instagram, like Michael and Christina, are you able to see and hear the feed okay on the Instagram page? Are you having trouble like Joy was with the feed dropping and the sound? So give a shout out and let me know on Instagram if you guys are experiencing any of that. So on to our topic, and please feel free to ask questions. The subjects for the talk show actually come up in sessions that I have with clients during the week. And so when I find that more than one person is asking similar questions, that's a red flag for me that we need to present it on a Monday night show. And that way, if clients ask that same question in future sessions, what I'll do is I'll give them the link to the video to watch because our sessions are only 60 minutes. And I would say probably 95% of the time, when people leave a session, they still have a lot of questions because we're in sessions for psychic readings or mediumship, it seems to open doors to a lot more topics and a lot more questions. And I really hate it when people leave still wondering about things. And so this is my way of banking the information so that even after the session is over, they can still find the answers. Hey to Kathy Warner Harden and Paige Denise. Good to see you guys. Okay, so we're going to talk about thresholds. This includes doorways, thresholds. A threshold or a doorway is any place or point entering or beginning. So it is where things change. It may be the ending of something or the beginning of something, but it's a demarcation point. A threshold is. And so we have a lot of change in the energy in a threshold. So it's that point where the energy actually changes. And so transition points specifically for spirits is where the energy changes and it creates a small vortex of energy at that changing point. Now, I want you to think, for example, when you are in your house and you go from one room to another, and let's just say you go from the kitchen into your bedroom. Think of the transition of that energy from the kitchen. Kitchens are usually like the hearth of a home where lots of people gather. You all may sit down and have a meal together. And so there's a lot of activity, a lot of communication. Cooking is, fast activity. It's creative. And so the energies in a kitchen are constantly flowing and moving and communicating and connecting. But when you enter your bedroom, let's say, for example, it's supposed to be a respite, a place of relaxation where you gear down from that fast paced day and creativity of making a meal. You gear down towards the relaxed energy of getting ready for bed, maybe reading a book or maybe watching TV. And so the energy changes as soon as you walk in to that bedroom. And the change happens as soon as you cross the threshold to that bedroom. The thoughts change as soon as you walk into the bedroom. And likewise, as soon as you exit the bedroom and you go back into the kitchen, the energy kicks up a notch. And so, we're constantly changing energies from room to room, depending on what you're using that room for. Now, like I said, the transition points where the energy actually changes its flow or frequency is going to create a little bit of a vortex there. Those are points specifically that spirits use to come and go, or portals, if you will. Special shout out to Rob Abbott. Good to see you, guy. Awesome to see you. Again, to you guys over here on Instagram, are you having any trouble with the feed? Can you see and hear me okay? And is the feed choppy or lagging, or is the audio lagging in any way? Just holler out in the comments and let me know if you can. Okay, so doorways, thresholds, those carry the same attributes. Hallways are another thing we want to talk about, because when the energy changes and you get that little bit of a vortex at the threshold or a doorway, that's where spirits can come and go, and they'll use those specifically as portals. Now, hallways are used as portals as well, because the flow of energy is constant in a hallway. We use the hallways to go from one room to another, and so the energy is always flowing. It's never static in a hallway. And if you've seen kids that are playing in a hallway, they'll scoot stuff down the hallway. It's always like going up and down the hallway. And when we used to play in the hallway of my dad's old house, and there were wood floors, we would get our socks on and slide all the way down the hallway. But the motion in the hallways is always going. And so another thing you may notice is that if there's a chair or chairs placed in a hallway, you're less likely to remain there or sit there, or if you have to sit there in a hallway, there's a real uneasy and not a relaxed feeling if you're sitting in a chair that's in a hallway. But it's almost like the constant flow of energy in that hallway is almost like a landing strip for spirits coming into a home. And so one of the best things that I found just from my experience is that hallways or thresholds have really good potential to capture photographic or video evidence of spiritual activity, light anomalies, shadows, and things like that. So hallways are excellent places if you do ghost hunting or paranormal investigation. Those are excellent places for you to set up cameras and videos. So let's see if we have any questions. Hey to Helen Drinkwater and Lois Finley King and Judy Burkett Roberts. Good to see you guys. Okay, working good. So it seems to be that Facebook is working great, but I'm not so sure about Instagram because nobody's hollered out at me. On the professional page, shout out to Rita Fox and Jody Price. If you guys want to join in on the live chat, I did leave a link for you there in the description to join us over here on the personal page if you want to ask questions or make a comment. So, yeah, don't sit in a chair in a hallway. You're going to be uncomfortable if you do. So, thresholds are these transition points for the changes in energy where the energy actually shifts to a different quality or different type because you're going from one state into another. Now, here's the thing that's important too is the change in energy is actually magnified by the thought forms of the people using the home. Let me check for question here. Ina says the basement hallway to the laundry in an apartment building where my daughter once lived in San Francisco was one of the creepiest places I've ever experienced. Yes, Ina, because all kinds of spirits use these portals to gain entry to different places, good and bad. So you might have been feeling some not so nice, kind of negative type of entities. Special shout out to Jessica Johnson. Good to see you on here. And hi to Angela Adkins. Awesome to see you as well. So magnified thought forms of the people using the house. How is that? We're constantly creating what we call thought forms. And they will generally stay in the upper chakras until you give them some sort of action. And the action is created by the lower chakras, the first and second chakra. It's just like a lot of people have really great ideas, but unless they give them action from the base chakra or the sacrum, nothing ever comes of it. And so we are constantly creating thought forms that we don't give action to. Some just kind of die out and others remain. When you go from one point in the home to another, and as you think about entering that bedroom, let's say from the kitchen, and you're thinking, okay, I'm in the bedroom now, I'm calm, things are gearing down, I'm getting ready for bed. Those are thought forms that are created. Then when you actually get into the bed and you start to get ready, those thought forms have been given action. And so you're manifesting these constantly. That creates a heavier imprint within the room as to the energy of the room. So those energy patterns are really imprinted and set into the very fiber of that room. Now, this is kind of important, especially for a lot of us that do ghost hunting and paranormal investigation, because you know how a lot of activity will really present itself after you start renovating property. The reason why is because in the spirit realm, they are sensing the energetic pattern of the room and the energy imprint of the room. And it's got not only maybe when they were alive and they were in that room, it's not got that imprint, but it's got the general imprint of through time, let's say maybe your imprints too. So if there's like a bedroom that was their bedroom and it's your bedroom, the imprint or the energy of a bedroom relaxing and a place of refuge is highly penetrated into the environment. Okay. Then when you go and you start tearing stuff out and rebuilding, what that does to the energy flow, it disrupts the energy flow to where that spirit has a problem delineating that that is still that space, because they're used to the imprint of the energy, not only when they were alive, but also the imprints that have been made subsequently. So, sometimes it takes a spirit a while and a lot of work with that spirit through a medium or whatever to get them to accept the new imprint that you're trying to lay down. But for a while, the energy, when you're tearing things out, is being released, and it becomes very chaotic, and it is very uncomfortable actually for them. So that can present a lot of problems for people who are renovating. So it's real important to try to remember that and maybe do some type of work to prevent problems from occurring if you feel like there may be some spiritual presence at the location where you're planning on doing renovation. Let me check for questions here. Um, so if you guys have any question, I'll just holler at me. Also, we need to talk about light waves real briefly, because spirits are made of light, good and bad. And so when you are trying to capture some type of photographic evidence, the important thing to know is that the aperture on your camera or your video picks up more light than your physical eyes. And so if you sense something, pull out your camera or your camera phone and start to video, or maybe snap some pictures, and you may just get something on film. But the best place, remember, to do that is the hallway or the threshold. Now let's get back to the vortex that's created at the threshold. Is because sort of a vacuum is created by the change in energy. So even if you have a hallway where the energy is constantly flowing and sort of fast, and then you enter into a room, let's say it might be an office or a library, and the energy slows, because as soon as you enter the office of the library, you're going to sit down and start working, and so the energy immediately drops. And that's what's going to create that vacuum or vortex that is specifically used by spirits to enter and to exit. Now, another important thing is, when a spirit is entering or exiting this dimension, you may hear a bang on the wall or a knock, something loud. Sometimes people will even hear uh, the sound of glass crashing. These are sonic noises that are created from the energy entering or exiting out of this dimension into another. And so when you go to investigate what broke or what loud bang that was, you're never going to find anything when you go to investigate. It's always going to be just as you left the environment. Hey to Jackie Brown, good to see you. Still still no word over here on Instagram if anybody can see or hear me. So, if you guys are still over here on Instagram, let me know if the feed is going okay. One last time. Okay, back to light waves. This is important because all spirits, all entities are made out of some kind of light. And light is one of the things that can travel through a vacuum or a portal. So it's one of the only things that we know of that can actually speed through a vacuum. And honestly, we know how fast that light can travel through a vacuum, and it's 186,400 miles per second. So one interesting thing, though, is when you look at a light beam from the side, it is invisible unless your light wave is actually bouncing off of something. you won't be able to see it. So that's why I think that when the energy changes and the light waves are coming in through these little vortices, the threshold provides that space for that light to bounce off of, creating sort of a refraction that you just could possibly see with maybe your camera or your video recorder or your DVR. Another thing that are, or other things that are portals in your home, is the windows, the glass windows, and mirrors, and those work very closely with light as well. So we'll touch on those really briefly. But like I said, unless light is bouncing off of something, it's not really perceivable to our eyes. So it has to hit something and become either diffuse or direct for our eyes to see it. Now, how do mirrors? You know how everybody's saying mirrors are huge portals. If you have an old silver mirror in specific, the silver atoms at the back of the glass absorb the light photons that are coming in, and it actually excites the silver. Now, that makes the silver sort of unstable, it makes the photons unstable. So they try to become stable again by getting rid of extra energy. And they do that by giving off more photons. And so not only are you looking at the reflection of light that's gone into the mirror, but you're also looking at extra light that's being produced. So the singular light that goes into the mirror is not exactly the same light that is coming back out, which I find really kind of fascinating. So silver reflects light better than almost anything else because it gives off almost as many photons of light as fall on it in the first place. So it's really giving off more than what light comes into the silver in the beginning. So you have all kinds of portals and transfer ways inside of a home, like thresholds, doorways, hallways, glass windows, mirrors. Um, and so that's why I say, you know, people ask me about going ghost hunting and things like that. You don't really have to go very far to perceive a spirit or to perceive a ghost because they're coming and going constantly, and those loved ones that have passed on are coming in and checking on us and going. And so I think if we just become a little bit more perceptive about the energies in the home, and maybe that shadow that is going down the hallway is somebody coming or going. Now remember, not all shadows are negative. We connotate darkness and black things with something negative, but it isn't always that way. As a matter of fact, if you want to know more about that, there's a 5-part series on shadow people on my YouTube channel, and I'll leave a link to it in the comments. Go there and find out what entities use shadow to present themselves, and they are not negative. That's some misconception we need to get rid of. Not everything that is dark is negative. Now, a lot of things are, but you need to know how do we perceive these things, and what should we do when we encounter that. So all of those videos are on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna cut it off right now for now. If you guys have any questions about thresholds, doorways, renovations, mirrors, glass, message me on Facebook. You can email me at kkauffman309@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and share this video tonight with your friends that you think might enjoy some of the content. And I will see you guys again next week. Kisses from Kentucky. Later.